Stein.
Yeah, hey, how are you?
Hey, so good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, so I saw your note about Joe,
Okay.
and I read a little bit about him and all that kind of stuff, but I kind of want to know what you're feeling about him and what you feel his issues might be. So,
well, the reason that, I first reached out about Joe is, he has an autism diagnosis. So he's having he's had some issues for quite some time now in every academic subject for the most part. But, now it's more reading fluency. His reading fluency is worse than the other subjects, and he's performing at a much lower rate.
okay.
So, yeah, reading fluency is probably the biggest issue right now
Okay, all
for
right.
Joe. But, I mean, Joe's an awesome kid, and he works hard, and he's really trying, but that's just where he's lacking the most
He's
right
struggling.
now.
Hey, that's why I'm here. We're going to work through it and figure it out.
We're good.
Okay, so, as you say that he's struggling, what does struggling look like for Joe? What in the classroom makes you feel like he's struggling?
Well, he just, he just can't process information and read as quickly as others, and much less than his peers. And he sometimes I need to meet with him one-on-one more often, and that can be a little bit difficult because it's taking time away from other children, or he doesn't necessarily maybe get all the attention that he needs because he does learn better one-on-one, and just the reading fluency is just a really big challenge right now for him.
Okay, and so when you say that you're meeting with him, one-on-one, when is that? Is that during normal class time, or are you pulling him out of things? When is that happening?
I mean, it's mostly during normal class time because
okay.
he has some other services, outside of the classroom.
Okay.
So, I just will sometimes go over to him and specifically help him, or, we work at a desk together sometimes. But, he still gets help outside the classroom as well.
Okay, that's great. And what's his, I know you say he's a great kid, but what's his demeanor like? Like, how is he receptive to you coming in and helping him?
I mean, just a really, really great personality, and he welcomes the help. I think he gets frustrated himself too because he wants to do better, but he has this diagnosis, and it can cause him a lot of grief, and it's harder for him to overcome obstacles than other children.
Yeah, rightfully so. I'm asking these. I want to try to get a good picture of him and how you view him and how he works within your classroom.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to reading fluency. You said that's his biggest problem and all that kind of stuff. So where are you bringing that in from? Why is this the biggest issue?
So his current performance is, we've kind of based this off the DIBELS.
Okay.
And the DIBELS oral reading fluency benchmark. Sorry, I have this all written down for you.
Hey, you're fine. Thank you.
You're welcome. So he's currently, at 78 words a minute.
Okay.
And that's in the some risk range. And then the DIBELS Retell fluency benchmark, he's at 18, which is in the some risk range as well. He's that's actually a third grade level, and he's in the 7th grade. So
we definitely have an issue.
Yeah, there's definitely some discrepancy there.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's kind of how he's performing now. Is those scores reflect a 3rd grade level, and we need him at a 7th grade level.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we just need him to be considered an established 3rd grade reader.
Okay.
By the end of this year is really what we'd like to do.
Okay, that's perfect. And so, what does an established 3rd grade reader look like? What do we need to achieve to get him to that level?
Well, we were kind of talking, and we want him to be at like 110 words a minute. We think that would be best based on the DIBELS stuff too.
On the DIBELS, okay.
And that's the oral reading fluency benchmark, and then 28 on the DIBELS Retell fluency benchmark. So we definitely have a little ways to go, but that's where we'd like him to be, because just being realistic. We know that he can't necessarily perform, on the 7th grade level right now, but we want to at least stay on track with him and, helping him get to the next goal for him.
I'm all on board about that. I want each child to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
all we can ask for. Not everybody's going to be exactly the same. So wonderful. Okay, so he's at 78 for the oral reading fluency. He's at 18 for the retail fluency. We want him at 110 for the oral reading and 28 for the retail benchmark.
Yes.
Okay. So, I saw in your note, y'all have already tried some things. You've already tried some activities and all of that kind of stuff, some interventions. So we kind of need to think outside the box at this point.
Yeah, I think that we could do some more interventions and activities and, possibly modify something we've already done. But right now it just isn't working. Hence why we're reaching out.
I totally understand. And that's what, so, it's going to take some brainstorming on each of our parts, but I'm going to go back and pull his files and go back through some of his previous evaluations and gather some information. And of course, if anything else happens that you feel like could help us in this process, feel free to reach out and let me know.
I'll do that.
And I know that our schedules are each kind of tight.
Right.
And so we will decide a time for at least 2 or 3 more meetings in the next few weeks. So I'm here on Thursdays, and so whenever a good time looks like for you on a Thursday.
Yeah, that'd be great. So like kind of what would you want me to do for this next meeting?
Okay, I just want you to, start trying to give me some work samples. I know his file has some, I've briefly looked at it. I know his file has some, but some more up-to-date work samples. Focused on his inability to fluently read.
Right.
I know this is a lot on you and all that, but maybe
that's
just a
fine.
few.
I can do that.
Okay. Just a few little benchmark things. Just give him a few, little worksheets or something like that so that I can see how he's doing, in his rate of fluency. So if you can just get some of those, some behavioral, observations, how he seems to be receptive to the interventions, that would be great. And like I said, I'll bring some research and do all of that, and we'll come back with some ideas at the next meeting.
Okie dokie, I can do that.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Well, it was so good to meet you.
It was nice meeting you.
This has, helped you, and we're going to help this little fella succeed.
No, this is good. We're on the right track now.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Miss Stein.